Put on your shoes, your shoes, your shoes.
So, have you put on your shoes? Because you're about to walk through an exciting journey to learning the life cycle assessment of footwear! Behold the map to the land of footwear, and your first stop is footwear history. Enjoy! In the year 3627 BC, the earliest known leather shoe was found near one of the cave dwellings in Armenia. Then, in 1st millennia BC, buckskin shoes were common in Greece and Rome. In 1533, Italian noblewoman Catherine de' Medici introduced the France fashion of high heels, which is popular among the ladies now. In the year 1800, shoes finally became made for each foot individually. Approaching the 19th century, an Irish-American inventor Humphrey O'Sullivan successfully patented rubber heel for shoes. Then, on 1917, the first successful sneakers started being sold in United States for kids and tennis players. In 1955, stiletto was invented in Italy by the French fashion designer Roger Vivier. In 1950s and beyond, we were introduced to advanced rubber, plastic, synthetic cloth and industrial materials that enable us to create many more new shoe designs. Fun fact 1. The term sneakers was born because the rubber soles in the shoes allow us to sneak around without being hurt. Shh. Good job for paying attention for the history of footwear. Now we're going to the second stop, which is footwear life cycle. Do you know what are used to make your shoes? There are about 4 to 5 major parts of a shoe, which are upper, insole, outsole, and midsole. The upper part is everything above the midsole. A typical shoe usually consists of metal eyelets, varying fabrics, leather, and conventional cotton. They cover about 23% of the shoes, and the production of upper part contribute to 41% of carbon emission. As for the midsole, it is the squishy section that sits between the outsole and the upper to absorb impact. They are usually made of olefin block copolymers and EVA rubber. They cover about 32% of shoe, but the production of this part emits about 30% of carbon. Moving on to the outsole part. It is the part of the sneaker that touches the ground and provides grip. They are usually made up of carbon black, thermoplastic elastomer, and DIN rubber. It covers about 17% of the shoe, and the production of outsole part contributes to 13% of carbon emission. Next is the insole part. This is a section of foam inside the shoe that comes in contact with your bare feet or socks. They are usually made up of foam such as polyurethane and virgin rubber. They consist about 6% of the shoe and contributes to 10% of carbon emission. Last but not least are the other minor parts, which includes packaging and materials added for aesthetics. They are usually made up of polyethylene terephthalate PET plastic and pulp. They cover about 22% of the shoes and contributes to 6% of carbon emission. You're doing great! Stay focused, we're almost there! The first stage of footwear life cycle involves processing of natural and synthetic materials to be used in manufacturing stage. During manufacturing stage, the processed materials are turned into final products through fabrics cutting, stitching, and injection molding of the shoes. The third stage involves logistics such as packing the products before getting them transported across the countries to stores. After receiving goods from the distributors, retailers are the ones responsible to sell the shoes and get the items to the hands of customers/consumers. On average, consumers like you get to wear the shoes that you bought for a duration of 8 and up to 12 months. When the shoes no longer serve its purpose, responsible consumers will reuse or recycle them. For example, you can turn shoes into a plant pot. In the end-of-life stage, shoes will undergo disposal. Every year, over 300 million pairs of shoes are thrown into the landfill. Fun fact 2! High heels were first worn by men for horseback riding. Years later, it became known as a feminine style of footwear. How interesting! Fantastic! You're a fast learner. Now, get excited to learn more as we set foot on our third topic, which is the impact to the environment. If you go on your browser and look up for the harm of footwear industry, you will find that the production of one shoe produces 14 kilograms of carbon dioxide, and there are more than 15 billion shoes produced each year. The 14 kg of carbon emission is equal to the weight of a typical cooking gas tank, and it takes up to 40 years for a shoe to start to decompose in landfill. Study found that raw materials processing stage and manufacturing stage contributed the most to carbon emission in footwear life cycle. How so? Currently, the main cause of deforestation in the Amazon is cattle farming, and 50% of all leather products are turned to raw materials for shoes production. Meanwhile, manufacturing stage use up large amounts of machinery and chemicals that are easily leaked into the environment, and these make up 1.4% of global greenhouse gases emissions that footwear industry is responsible for. Fun fact 3. A Canadian shoes manufacturing company, So, have been collecting used wine corks to be recycled into shoes since 2008. Wow! Impressive! Your focus have been outstanding. You are now heading to our final topic, which is mitigation measure. Now, since you have learned a lot of new knowledge and surprising facts about the footwear industry, how can you play your part in reducing the impacts to the environment? Firstly, you should reuse or recycle your used shoes so that they do not end up in landfill straight away. By doing so, you are extending their usage. Next, you should avoid shoes shopping when you don't have a real purpose or need. Truth is, some shoes are versatile enough for every occasion and event. For example, sneakers. Last but not least, since we are living in the era of modern technology now, why not use the social media apps for something beneficial, such as spreading the awareness to your family and friends? By doing so, perhaps we can reduce the amount of carbon footprint in the future. Finally, you have really done it! You went through all 4 topics with flying colors. I appreciate your determination to stay until the end. I will be very happy if you can like, share and subscribe to this channel. Do comment down below to share your thoughts about this video. Until we meet again, bye!